It's working already. It's working.
I wondered where you were disappearing there too, Gary.
I was just having a wee peek round at to see if my broadband cable had a knot in it, because it wasn't working so well, Andy.
Take the knot in it, get it out, super duper. But you're here, Gary.
We made it. We made it, Andy. We made it.
We made it.
Folks, good evening. You people tuning in again to this extravaganza chat show we've got going on here for the last, how long is it, Andy?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea what day it is, Gary. I'm at that stage in between Christmas and New Year where I'm guessing it's a Wednesday. And incidentally, folks, happy Christmas to you all. Great to see you all joining in this evening. If you had a quiet time over Christmas, a busy time over Christmas, whatever time you had over Christmas, I hope it was a smasher. So happy Christmas to you all.
Yeah, I hope you all have a nice time. It's this strange time, I would imagine. But if we're together with people, hope it was nice. If you were on your own, hope people give you a phone. Hope you had a nice time.
Absolutely. And so it is Wednesday, Gary. It's that kind of phase in between Christmas and New Year. Hogmanay tomorrow, of course.
Is it Hogmanay already? God's sake, another year.
Oh. Tony's getting a bit fancy there.
Bonsoir, Tony. Bonsoir, mon ami. Tony Lola. Tony speaks a few languages.
Oh, he's good, isn't he? He's good. Wonder how Terry's doing in the bathtub as usual.
I wonder, Andy. I wonder if anyone wants to put up what they got for their Christmas, and if anyone got a pogo stick.
Well, there is the question. Come on, the pogo sticks.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was a shortage. Maybe there wasn't a list of pogo sticks in Santa's list.
Just have to wait and see, Gary. So, folks, Santa's been. Hopefully, you had a lovely time over Christmas. We've got no guests on this evening because tonight is a wee bit of a look back, Gary. This is episode 36 by all accounts.
36,
so
Andy. 36.
It's a look back over the last year or the last kind of 8 months or 9 months of chat show. But if anyone wants to come on to the show, I'm going to put the link up. And if you want to come on, and if you got something fancy for your Christmas, if you get an Evel Knievel, if you get a pogo stick, if you get a space hopper, if you get Twister, if you get a Millennium Falcon, if you get a doll, whatever you got, if you want to come on and show us your Christmas presents, then feel free to come on and say hello to us all.
Yeah, everyone very welcome tonight. We'll put the link up. If you want to come on and ask us something, if you want to come on and say something, if you want to come on and say what you got for Christmas, if you want to talk about some of your favourite shows, some of your favourite guests, some of your favourite moments that happened on the show, then click on the link and come on.
So that's
on an evening of reflection, we've got to reflect on last week's show and how good it was. Wasn't it just a great thrill to have Santa on the show?
Well, yeah, absolutely. For folks that maybe never tuned in last week, if you were busy wrapping Christmas gifts or doing last-minute Christmas chores, last week we had Santa Claus live from the North Pole, and he came on. And not only did he come on and he spoke to some children as well, and he told us all about the stuff that goes on at the North Pole and everything that they were busy getting up to and getting prepared for. And Santa was just fantastic. It was a real pleasure, Gary. It was
a pleasure, and it opened my eyes to the multi-talented, multi-skilled, multilingual aspect of Santa's working life and how much he has to turn his hand to, and just like that, je ne sais quoi. It was in another country. It was just brilliant.
He was fantastic, and it was good to hear that all the social distancing measures have been very much enforced up in the North Pole. Santa and all his helpers have been socially distanced. But you've got to wonder, Gary, are all the elves off on furlough now, Gary? Do you think? It's a quiet time of year for them.
Well, he did say he didn't have to furlough anyone, and he was giving everyone 2 weeks off.
2 weeks holiday.
Yeah, and they start back in week 3 in a 4-day week was Santa's message to us. But that'd be a wee moment for everyone to appreciate Santa and the work that goes into what he does. And no one ever asks, does Santa get home all right?
Well, exactly. Well, Santa was round my house, Gary, and it was a great.
Andy, I got a delivery earlier.
Did you get a delivery? Fantastic.
I got a nice mug. You get one. Look at that.
Check them out, folks.
Is yours got a? Look at that. A wee bit closer.
Look at that. A mug for my mug, Gary.
That was very kindly delivered, socially distanced to my door earlier, Andy, by your lovely daughters. Much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Our very own chat show, mugs, and that was courtesy of my daughter that put these together.
Lovely.
And this was a wee Christmas gift, and these were illustrations that Catherine done for our Instagram page.
If you don't recognise that one there, that's not Ming the Merciless. That's me.
She got the hairstyles right, at least, Gary. She got the hair right.
Did. Right said, Fred. So, cat mugs, very much appreciated.
Fantastic, and a good cup of tea as well. So, Santa, good to you then, Gary. What does Santa bring to your house?
Spandau Ballet album. Red vinyl, Andy. Can't beat that. Just fantastic.
Great.
Brilliant.
Is this a new album, Spandau Ballet? I thought they were a group for the 80s.
It's their 40th anniversary hits. So all the groups I like, Andy, all their albums are 40-year-old either this year or next year. And Andy Ballet bought an album out to celebrate 40 years and all the singles on it, and it's red vinyl, and it's just brilliant. It's just really good. And I'm now really comfortable in the music that I like and have liked. I'm just really comfortable in it. I don't care if folk think Spandau Ballet is a load of crap. I like Spandau Ballet.
So you get Spandau Ballet for your Christmas, and because Gary, you've branched out. Not only are you live every Wednesday on Paisley Community Chat Show, but you've got another wee show on the go as well, Gary. Have you not? Aye,
when this is out my comfort zone, Andy. See, after we had the radio week, we had the radio week, and Paisley FM had a chat with Norman at Paisley FM, and he says, "You guys are quite good." Stop talking crap, Norman. But he says, "No, seriously, you guys are no bad at doing what you're doing." And I get chatting about music and stuff. He says, "Do you fancy a radio show?" I went, "Aye, all right. On my own terms. I get to play my own records. I just get to play my own records, Andy. That's all I'm doing. So I'm playing every Tuesday, 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock on Paisley FM. I play my own records. I just play them and talk, and they go out for an hour. And people either like them or they don't like them. And to be fair, I said to Norman, I says, folk might not like what I like. He says, well, he actually said to me, if you like it, somebody else will like it. So that, Andy, believe it or not, that's me on Paisley FM Tuesday, on here on a Wednesday, and then this show's repeated on Paisley FM on a Thursday.
You're turning into a media mogul, Gary. And Paul, hey Paul, how you doing? Good to see you in.
Yeah, Paul. Somebody said to me, Andy, when
you Paul, part of the Paisley FM mafia there.
Somebody phoned me up, Andy, said, how much are you getting for all that?
You get the pleasure of playing your own records, because the truth is, Gary, you are a bit of a vinyl junkie, are you not? You collect all your own records, you love playing them. It's your sense of relaxation. And clearly, as you look behind you in your man cave, you've got the skids up, you've got that. Well, somebody mentioned that about a skid on your wall earlier on. I spotted that, but you've got the skids, you've got Heaven 17, you've got mid-year as usual. You love your music, and this show that you do is just a chance for you to play your own records, Gary.
I just play my own records.
Fantastic.
I'm under a wee bit of pressure because I need to. Well, what I've said to myself is there was a period in my life that vinyl went out of fashion, and you started to buy CDs.
Yep.
And then I got all my records out again and bought a record player, and I started to buy records again, and I want to turn my CD collection into a record collection. So I've got loads and loads of records and loads of CDs.
Right.
I want to make them. There's a lot of CDs. A lot of artists are not actually on vinyl, and you'll never get them. But the ones that are CDs that I've got that can get vinyl, I want to buy the vinyl. I'll eventually have a larger collection than I have. It's no bad collection. It's no massive, Andy. It's enough to turn it into a decent radio show that plays mostly 80s stuff and mostly my stuff and some future stuff. And there's Wallace. Thanks for tuning in, Wallace. I played the Future Islands record on my show the other night, which is something new for me.
See, I don't even know who Future Islands are.
Wallace puts me to shame. Wallace is a proper DJ. I'm just a guy that plays records.
Aye. I must admit, I like music. I'm more of a soul and Motown kind of guy. I like some of the stuff from the 80s. I'm a kind of background, stick on the radio. You know, I won't really delve into many albums. I won't collect them, but there are a few that I absolutely like. Well, good luck with that, Gary, and that's out on Paisley FM on Tuesday nights.
Tuesday at 9. A new skill, Andy. I'm learning new stuff. It's not just about playing records. I thought it was that. Just put a record on and talk crap. That was, in fact, that was Paul's advice.
Is that what Paul does?
And Paul said to me, if I can do it, you can do it. Just put your music on and talk crap.
Well, fantastic. Well, listen, that's a fantastic Spandau Ballet gift for Christmas. I'm sure
did you get on, Andy? Anything nice?
Well, the usual, Gary, I must be honest. New slippers, new pajamas.
You that age?
What's that?
You that age? Pajamas and slippers age?
Oh, aye. Absolutely. I like my home comforts. I tell you what, there's a batch of folk watching right now, Gary, and I want to know how many of you get new slippers or new pajamas. It's a standard thing, Gary.
I got them as well, Andy. I was trying to be cool.
Well, this year I get a new dressing gown, and
really?
It was it's a cracker. It's kind of one that's you don't want to get out of. You know, it's so cozy. And I don't know if you can see behind me, I got an on-air sign.
Yeah, that's good.
From my daughter. The only problem is when I turn it on, it's so bright because it's neon, you can't see it.
I got Seamus's book, Andy. Remember Seamus Connell was on the show? I know he was on the Literature Week.
Yes.
I've not had a chance to read it, but I flicked through it, and there's loads of references to Paisley in it. Look forward to it.
Well, that we had that one on, and I got another bottle of Teardrop gin. Would you believe?
Did you finish the first one?
It's not finished yet. I'm working my way through it, but I got another bottle of Teardrop gin, which is great.
Nice.
Roddy got. Oh, what would Christmas be without Lynx Africa?
The 70s.
When it was high karate or Brute.
Brute's back.
No.
It's an advert for Brute in the telly now.
Oh, what's his name? The footballer guy? Vinnie Jones or whatever his name is.
Aye, Vinnie Jones and Brute, straightforward stuff. It's actually, it's minging.
Splash it all over. I remember Brute when it was Henry Cooper that was doing the ads.
Aye, he was doing it. Kevin Keegan was doing it. Tony likes his Brute. What's French for Brute?
Brr.
Anyway, so it's been a busy wee time still though, Andy. A bit hectic.
It's been good. Christmas has been fantastic. I've been looking forward, and of course, as I mentioned in one of the previous shows, Christmas wouldn't be Christmas without decorating in the Campbell household. So
you've been doing that all the way through.
I was wallpapering the day, Gary, and then I was putting up wall lights.
Oh dear.
So we've got Lynx Africa with Marmite, Gary.
Well, you either like that or you don't like that.
Right, Wallace, if you want to come on the programme and talk about Lynx Africa with Marmite, if you want to do a live test of it on the programme, we're going to get the link up. Just click the link, we'll bring you into the black and white room, and then French for Brute, Gary, with audience never fails.
Le Brute? Is French for Brute no Brute?
Probably is.
Yeah. Elizabeth, thanks for tuning in again, all the way from Chicago. It's great to see you tuning in. So this is a show tonight. We're going to wing it a wee bit, Andy, and we want people, if they have a mind to want to come on and just have a chat, talk about your favourite moment of the year. Doesn't need to be about the show, your favourite guest, anything that might have happened in your life that you want to talk about, or just anything. If you want to come on, just click the link and come on, have a chat.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, Andy?
Well, Gary, I've been so busy, nothing's really caught my eye because I've not really been on social media much. And the stuff that I saw, what's that?
I'm the same.
Been too busy.
Not caught my eye, but we've been going out for walks. So we've been doing our damnedest to do social distant walks. We're going for a wee drive and a wee walk round about. And the thing that's caught my eye, if you're ready.
You're hoping I've got this picture lined up, Gary.
It's only one picture.
It's a picture of my wallpaper.
So the thing that's caught my eye really is the place we live. The place we live and call home, Paisley. It's caught my eye just how beautiful it is and how lucky we are to live here. It's got everything you need. And that was one day we were just walking, parked up at Glasgow Road, top of Glasgow Road, up the top of Barshaw, and took a wee walk round Barshaw. And the moon caught my eye in the distance. And the swans were just gliding past. And I thought, this place is stunning. So generally, and that's amateur, Andy, that's an amateur picture.
It's a crank photograph, Gary.
There's so many amazing images that I've seen in the years and months in and around Paisley, but particularly, but more recently, the images I've seen of Paisley, the sunsets, the moon, just the buildings, the streetscapes, people. It's a fantastic place we live, Andy. And that's really what's caught my eye.
Do you know, I'm never... You go on to some of the Facebook pages that are out there, and you know, again, to all of our partners, there's a lot of folk out there that run different Facebook pages, and you know, for us, from our point of view, we love all the Paisley pages. It's such a vital component to bringing all the communities together, whether it's local, whether it's, you know, a Paisley wide, whether it's focused on history and heritage, whether it's focused on old Paisley, whatever it might be, whether it's the buildings of Paisley, all these Facebook pages do a really, really vital job. And when you are on and you do scroll through and you see these wonderful pictures, you think, we are so lucky to live in such a fantastic town. But unfortunately, folk they're kind of almost blind to it sometimes. You know, they only want to see the negative, and, you know, okay, we know that there's problems in the high street, but when you lift your head above that and you look at the town that we have, it's just full of opportunity, full of potential.
Absolutely, Andy. Absolutely. So we do our best to go for a walk when it's quiet. And I mean, Janie there has just put a comment up. Andy, she went to the park today and turned back because it was heaving. Oof. And that's true. I mean, you go at a certain time of the day and you go to the park during these lockdown times and it's really busy. It's just sensible not to go. But we walk along the street. We'll go up to Brodie Park. Brodie Park is just stunning. And it's a nice quiet walk. So we were up Brodie Park the other day as well. Very quiet. People, I've noticed a lot more, Andy. People will walk by you, give you a nod, or they'll say hello, ask how you are. I suppose that's different. That's something that's I'll take as a positive coming out of this dark time. Yeah.
It is. It's a bit odd though. I found myself when I've been out and about. You obviously face mask on to protect yourself. most importantly to protect others. But you lose the smile, because usually you would smile at someone, but they don't know that you're smiling. Particularly if you're in a store or someone's trying to help you and have a smile, they can't smile. So I've taken to nodding because I thought that winking at people was maybe unacceptable.
I've actually found myself saying now and again, I'm smiling.
maybe get those clear face masks, those transparent ones. Although don't do what that Karen did over in America, because she was finding it difficult to breathe. She cut a hole in the front of it to make breathing easier.
Oh, that's clever. We should all do that. So again, is anyone tuning in? And has anyone clicked the link yet? Does anyone want to come?
We do have someone that has jumped into the black and white room, so we're going to bring in.
Have we got the BAM filter up, Andy?
Well, I'm sure. I think by the looks of things, he passes the BAM check.
Okay.
But we're going to bring in Wallace to have a wee blather with us.
Hey, Wallace.
How you doing?
Happy Christmas to you.
Same to you, but it's almost New Year, isn't it?
No. Bad luck. It's bad luck, Wallace.
Almost.
Check you out, Wallace. You look like a complete professional there.
He's a proper DJ. None of this pretend stuff.
What with the Wallace and Gromit curtains?
Have you? Is that what you got? Is that what you got for Santa?
That's my Shaun the Sheep. No, it's just because of what we were talking about earlier on. It does exist. It's my son's. Look, it's links with Marmite.
Oh, right. Hold that right up to the camera, Wallace.
Scratch and sniff.
Exactly, you wish.
Right. Okay. Right. We want a live demonstration of it on the air, Wallace.
I tell you, not a chance, because it's choking. It's horrible when he walks about with that on.
Is it not? Is it?
It's worse than it sounds.
Yeah. So, Wallace, talking about music earlier.
Yes.
You've got wads and wads of music, haven't you?
Well, that's the vinyl. That's the vinyl wall.
Yeah, that's loads.
Wow.
And the CD wall. And the turntable and yeah.
How long have you been doing the DJ stuff for?
Well, I was going to say 31 years, but you can't count this year, so let's just say 30.
30 years being a DJ. And how did that all start for you?
1989. It started just helping out a friend's school in Barrhead. And also the Traveller's Rest in Paisley, one of the first ones. That's how it started. I just get asked, can I do that? And I said, well, yeah, okay. I took down a mixtape, an audio tape that I'd done, put it in, and that was it. Then, of course, you probably remember we had pirate radio stations in Paisley.
Yeah.
Chaos and all that. Well, I used to hand in a cassette to someone who you all know that was on there back then, that owned a record shop in Paisley. And I was driving around the town one night and I thought, I know this mix. Hang on, it's mine. Because I'd handed it into a friend. This guy was called Mike Mackay on Chaos FM.
Is that a real name?
No, I don't think his real name was Mike Mackay. His first name might have been right, but I don't know.
That does actually bring me back to years and years and years and years ago when I was in high school, and one of my pals, who will remain nameless, had managed to hook up a local Arcoston and Gallaghill area broadcast.
Yeah,
and I would provide a mixtape that I made up, and my DJ name, believe it or not, was MC Moosehead.
Well,
really? What was on the tape, Andy? What was on the tape?
Oh, I'd have to dig them out. Growing up, I listened to a lot of Steve Wright on Radio 1. So Steve Wright was the kind of, I think he's a fantastic DJ. And I used to listen to kind of Steve Wright. So my shows would closely kind of resemble the kind of track choice and all that sort of stuff. But I probably got a tape somewhere. I'll have to dig it out. Right. But that was going back to we were about 14 or 15. But
any Adam and the Ants?
My collection, Adam and the Ants. Absolutely.
Andy, you were a fan, weren't you?
Oh, aye.
Love Adam and the Ants. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So Wallace is a Wallace puts me to shame. Wallace is a proper DJ. Is that
proper,
the anniversary gold one?
the proper one from a few years ago, the gold foil.
Did you get it in gold?
Yep, gold vinyl, gold foil, with all the extras, the CD, DVD, vinyl, gold vinyl. Yeah, that's a quite good one. All the Japanese albums. I've got all the Japanese albums of Adam and the Ants and Adam Ant in my hall on the walls, all the Japanese editions of them all.
Wow, fantastic.
So, because it's better than wallpaper, isn't it?
Absolutely. So
you're out and about gigging, Wallace, though, doing your DJ, aren't you? When things were normal.
Well, I used to be. We started with turntables. That's the thing. We started with vinyl, and then of course in 1992. It was now 20. I moved on to CDs, and then of course in 1999 moved on to using a laptop, and now it's PC because we do video projections on the walls. Well, when we're out, if there's any walls to project on to these days.
Fantastic. And it must be something, once you're into vinyl, once you're into music, you're just constantly collecting, I guess. So there's no music genre that you wouldn't touch, Wallace?
Yes, there is. Just one.
Go on.
Jazz.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Something wrong with you.
I know.
Well,
the only jazz album, I think I've got two. I've got the one that the guy that did Charlie Brown, the Peanuts cartoons. I've got his album, and I've also got Henry Mancini, a pink vinyl of Pink Panther, fair enough. But that's the closest thing to jazz I've got. No proper jazz albums.
Wallace, I've started to dabble in jazz, and I
noticed.
See that compilation? That's a really good entry point for jazz because it's not really heavy. It's just really nice music.
It's easy listening jazz.
Well, there's a bit of instrumental, there's a bit of singing in it, but it's not
like Dave Brubeck or anything.
It's not boobab doop 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 doop.
That's a bit scat. You're a scat man now. But of course, all your records, remember, have got a link to Rick Astley. We all know that, remember, from watching Facebook.
I've seen that. I don't know how that happened. He's either a sound man or he's the graphic designer.
Took the cover photo, that kind of thing.
Nothing wrong with a bit of Rick. I like Rick Astley.
The album 50 was a brilliant album. That's a
brilliant album.
Last week.
We went to see him live up in Glasgow a couple of years ago. He was just phenomenal. Brilliant.
He's good. Yeah, good drummer as well, and a guitar player.
Oh my goodness.
He gave it up, Wallace, didn't he, for a while? He just couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, he couldn't be bothered, then he came back. That was the whole point. 2 years before his 50th birthday, he decided to start it again, and then he did the album 50 for his 50th. That was a great album.
That's really good.
Keep singing, brilliant songs.
I thought he said once that he was never going to give you up.
Happy. Hey, nice one.
He's never let me down.
Never? He never ran around either? Or hurt you?
No, he's never hurt me. Never hurt me.
I have I'm not going to play it, but I've got a bookmark YouTube video of Never Going to Give You Up. And anytime I get one of those spam calls, it's hello, it's Microsoft on the phone, or anything like that, I'll go, all right, okay, hold on a second, what do I need to do to my computer? And then I'll play and I'll rickroll them. So every spam caller, I actually quite enjoy it. It's good fun. I thoroughly recommend it.
Oh, I recommend it as well. What I used to do was I used to record all the spam calls I got to the shop. I used to record them and then put them on the YouTube and put them on my account on Facebook as well. And then, so they started phoning me up to ask me if I'm the person that's got a nuclear reactor in the back made out of Subway straws and chicken nuggets. It became famous. They started phoning me up now from India. Are you the man that's got chicken nuggets and Subway straws and nuclear reactor? And I'm like,
Is that a Welsh guy? Is that a Welsh guy in India?
He was obviously from Wales, half Chinese, half Welsh, On holiday in Dubai.
I've only done one spoof, and the guy kept talking to me. Phoned up and says, I hear you had an accident in your car. I says, oh, yeah, I died. I died. I'm still dead. And he just kept talking.
Yeah, same here. I had the same one.
At all. So Wallace, we're not getting the smell test, at least a kind of reaction to Link's Marmite. Go on.
Reaction. There we go.
Not bad. Oh.
It's really bad. I mean, he brought it in and thought, let's have a smell of this. And I was like, oh, why would you want to smell like a sandwich? It's horrible.
This wasn't in his stocking, so this wasn't a Santa gift that was left for.
No, this was actually he bought himself because, like me, if you see something like that, you think it's so outrageous. You got to buy it.
I was going to say, did you buy him it?
No, because that I didn't buy. All I got was Haribo. I don't buy anything. I didn't realise Andy was such a big Adam and the Ants fan. I've even got the coasters of all the album covers.
Wow.
I would expect Marco, Merrick, Teddy Lee, Gary Tibbs, and Aramant on them.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
I seen Adam and the Ants 1982 in Apollo.
I wasn't old enough. My first concert was in the Apollo, but it was Status Quo in 1984 when they were splitting up for the first time. End of the road tour. Yeah, that was my first gig.
Altered Images supported them that night, Wallace.
Oh, I know, that'd have been good.
Well,
you didn't know who Altered Images were. They were up the stage, obviously massive. You're going, who are you? Who are you? And they sang the songs, and they were fantastic. Then Adam and the Ants came on with a double drum set, and it was the Kings of the Wild Frontier tour. It was really good.
Okay, yeah. Well, Altered Images are supporting Human League next year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's in the Hydro if it goes ahead, next Christmas.
Wallace, before we let you go, you've got to tell us what the highlight and the low light of your last year has been and what you're looking forward to the most in 2021.
The highlight? I can't actually think of many highlights apart from the grey highlights in my hair. I got them added to make me look older. Because this year I turned 50, obviously. So
how's that obvious?
What is
it's not obvious.
Aye, really? Well, I suppose my barber said to me the grey hair's better than no hair, so you can confirm, guys.
I've got hair, Wallace.
I'm just wearing it well.
Just upside down.
Just wearing it well.
So obviously the low light I think must be the fact that the low light was actually just 3 nights ago, to be fair, because I had a party all planned for the 27th, as I always do. But I just thought, there's no point. We're not going to break the rules, so it's all cancelled. And the 27th, last year, the 27th, we had a barbecue out the back. I had the hot tub on, I had the barbecue, loads of folk in my cave. I've got a wee bar I set up in my back garden. It's a small thing. So the low light was not being able to have everyone up.
Well, listen, Wallace, I can't wait till you're back in action and partying and doing everything you're doing for 2021, Wallace.
Yep.
I wish you all the very, very best.
Thank you.
Wallace, before you go,
yes,
you've missed a trick.
What did I do?
Is your jacuzzi tub thing? Is it a time machine? We can all nip round and go back in here.
Hot tub time machine. I tell you, if I did, I would go back to what you said on your radio show on Tuesday, where you said you're stuck in the 80s, and I thought, that is just me. There is some good music out there these days, but you got to scrape through the rubbish to get to it.
Right.
And all my top row of vinyl along there is all my newer stuff. And as you see, Future Islands, I mean, that's a good few years now, but it's still a good band. Yeah. But yeah, I'm stuck in the 80s as well when it comes to most of that. That's why when somebody books me for an 80s night, that's the thing. I mean, I did quiz nights, I did 80s video projection parties, everything. I've got 2,600 80s videos, so.
Oof. Come on.
But thanks for tuning in to my radio show. You're listener number 6.
What, another 5 next door in the other room there?
Limited edition.
Right, super.
Right, Wallace, you have a good one. Catch you later on.
Same to you. Have a good time.
Bye-bye. What a record collection there, Gary.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, to do that as a hobby living type of thing is just, and for 30 years, you're bound to build up a massive collection. And I know Wallace's collection is very, very diverse. We've swapped records now and again. I've had doublers. Wallace has had doublers. They're one of mine for years.
Well, here's a question from Elise. We know that Elise is watching from the US of A as well. So listen, we've got viewers in tonight from New York. We've got viewers in tonight from Chicago. And we've actually got viewers in tonight from Houston. So to our friend who has joined us from Houston, I hope you're well. We'll catch up very soon with you, okay? But here's a question from Elise in connection to Paolo's re-release Yellow Vinyl, Sunny Side Up.
Now that's one I've got in CD, Andy. I'll need to get a hold of that.
Fantastic. So we've got another guest, Gary, waiting.
Is the filter? Is the filter?
The BAM filter. We'll check the BAM filter. Passing the BAM check.
That's the BAM filter. Good, good.
So we're going to bring on our next guest, the one and only Tony Lawler. Tony.
Oh.
Bonjour.
I'm saying, who's the BAM? What's this BAM filter? I'm no a BAM.
You get through it.
I'm no a BAM.
Well, the BAM filter's not working. Yeah, BAM.
Tony, how are you?
What's arm on me?
I'm fine. Moles too. Maze and me. How are you both?
Good.
Oh,
For a while.
fantastic. Tony, happy Christmas to you. Have you had a good one?
Oh, I had a great Christmas. I got a Christmas present that's worth showing. It's a bicycle tool.
Oh, right.
It's
Is this what you're on to show us, Tony?
Sorry?
Is this what you're on to show us?
Oh, that, and I've got a couple of things I want to ask and talk about, if that's okay.
Right.
This is my bike tool. It's fantastic. It's a multi-tool.
Right.
And it's good for scratching your head when you get an itchy head.
Is it Swiss?
See, Gary, I need to show you in person, but it comes into pieces, and you get kind of what the camera. Your tyre irons. You've got wee spanners, hex spanners coming down this side here. Screwdriver bits, pieces in there.
So it's a multi-purpose bike tool. I've got one question, Tony.
Aye.
Have you got a bike?
Well, that's my next present. I've not told Maggie that yet.
I've seen you on your bike.
Aye. No, I'm quite keen. I quite enjoy cycling. And when I saw this bike tool, I'm into gadgets, and this is a gadget. It's a gadget and a half. You know,
Tony, you gave me a wee bit of advice during the lockdown about bikes and cycling, whether you know it or not. And that wee book you gave me with the bike tours. Bonjour, Tony. With the bike tours, I went in one of the cycles.
All right.
Aye. I got lost.
You've taken up cycling, Gary, in the past year, haven't you?
Well, aye, that's something that's been one of my highlights of the year. I bought a bike and I took up cycling, and I cycled one day from the house down to the top of Port Glasgow, and tried to cycle back the way. So I was kind of downhill the way there.
Get the chain back.
And the way back, I wish I could have. I got lost and ended up halfway up hills walking, talking to sheep, and I blame you for that too.
I'm sorry. But clearly you didn't use the cycle track, because it's straightforward in a cycle track. Straight down
in the cycle track. I came off it and the way back.
Right. That is a good cycle ride, that, and I enjoy that one. I have not been out on my bike for a couple of months. I'll be saddle sore when I go back out on my bike.
You've got to get your calluses back up to standard, Tony.
That's it. But no, apart from I had a great Christmas.
Brilliant.
You know, caught up with some people that I've not seen for ages. It was just really good. All sticking within the restrictions, of course. You know, it was all
social distance. Mm-hmm. No gathering indoors. I'm sure you were exercising at the time, Tony.
Aye, I was. That was really good. And I'm looking forward to the New Year celebrations. I think we're going to sit out the back door and shout abuse at the moon, just like Ramsey Nesbitt would do. You know.
What's been your highlights of the last year, Tony? I know it's been a tough year for everybody, and we'll talk about that throughout the programme, but you know, the challenges that people have had to face with COVID and you know, clearly the lockdown for everyone having to maybe close their businesses or, you know, put in major changes into how they trade. So it's been tough. And for those folk that have maybe had, you know, family in care homes or family in hospital, again, that's been tough as well. But hopefully 2021 will bring a glimmer of hope for us by the way of vaccine and so on. But what's been the highlights of 2020 for you anyway, Tony? Bless you.
Well, I've got a fair few highlights, to be honest. You know, we've got a camper van, so we got away out in that, although we've not been away in it since September. But I thoroughly enjoy going about and round about the country and just visiting fantastic places. And what's really good about doing that is you just see how wonderful Paisley really is. Because you go to other places and you think, oh, that's fantastic. But then you think back to our town and you can just, the potential of our town is unbelievable. It's what a town. What a tune. So being in
Absolutely.
Paisley, that's a big highlight for me. As always, Small Short Day is a highlight. That's a different Small Short Day this year, but it's always going to be a highlight for me. And of course, getting to know you two a bit better, joining the Paisley Community Trust has been a highlight. It's been really good, really enjoy it. I'm enjoying what we're doing. And of course, there's other trustees we're meeting, making new friends. And particularly this year when we were all socially distant, we're still got the opportunity. I've made some nice, good friends. So that's a highlight. That really has been a highlight.
Brilliant. Fantastic. And that was a cracking show that we did, folks. And you'll remember we had the virtual Small Shot. Now, I'm looking, I've got the whole list of the programmes that we've done.
Yeah, that was a great show, that, actually, Tony. That was a really special week. That week when we had you on, and was Carol on that week?
Yep, Carol was on. So was Sean.
First of July. Goodness gracious.
I was remembering back, Andy and Tony, to the very, very first week we did the chat show.
Aye.
And how different in style that first week was. I've got the date. The date was, where is it? It's up on my list somewhere. 6th of May.
It was.
Right.
6th of May.
Our very first chat show was the 6th of May, Tony. And Andy, if you remember, we were chatting about it and you said, let's do an hour.
Aye.
And again, it was comfort zone stuff for me. I'm going, I don't really want to do this. Can we not just do half an hour? And we compromised and we made it a 45-minute show, and it was going to be a standard 45-minute show. And the first show was overrun, and it was an hour. And every show since has been like an hour and a quarter, hour and a half. And it's been such.
But it's amazing to see how you think back to those first shows, how comfortable and how more confident you are as presenters.
Well,
and the fact you've had such a wide, varied amount of guests on as well, it's been great. It's one of the highlights of the week.
Watch this, guys. Watch this. Hopefully, hold on. I'm going to.
Is this the first show?
This is. Hold on. I'm going to stop sharing because I need to click the audio button here. Share screen, Chrome tab, and share audio. Right. Watch this one.
Hello, what's your Andy?
It's me, Gary. You were looking the wrong way there. How are you doing, Gary? You all right?
I'm okay, Andy. How are you?
Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right. Hello, everyone watching.
Warm welcome to everyone watching and taking part in our live new show, Paisley Community Chat Show. How does it feel to be on a chat show, Gary?
I'm quite strange. First time having done this sort of thing. It's hardly McCoist and Macaulay. But we'll see how it turns out. What we're interested in, Andy, as you know.
What's that like, guys?
God's sake.
You're just a pair of Waynes, so you're.
Wouldn't we?
Just a pair of Waynes. That must have been back in the day.
God's sake. That's 36 weeks later, Tony. And so, without being scientific about it, we've had at least 2 guests on every week. That's 70. At least 70 guests we've coming through the show. And we say every week, the guests make the show. Every time we've got a guest on, it's a really interesting subject, an interesting person, or they're singing, or telling jokes, or just naturally funny. And it's just been a real privilege to be able to do that every single week. It's broke our week up. It's gave us a focus. And all we hoped to do when we did the show was to shine a light on Paisley and its community and to bring benefit and to bring people together. So we hope we've done that.
Oh, Gary, I think that's been done. You see people, it's like people now look forward to a Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. At the risk of bumming you up too much, gentlemen.
Keep going.
It's like a beacon of light. You're a beacon of light in these dark times.
Well, listen, the guests, you know, it's all about the guests, and we've had some fantastic guests on the show over the weeks. And there's Mags. There have been some great guests. It'd be fantastic if you're watching tonight. Who's been your favourite guests?
Yeah.
You know, as Gary mentioned, 36 shows. There's been at least 2 guests on every show. Sometimes we've had musical acts. But who's been your favourite guest? I'm looking at this list again. I'll have to let's see if I can share my screen again.
There's been some real highlights for me, Andy, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you one.
Right, you're going to show me one, right? Go on.
I'm going to show you one. Give me a minute. Give me a second.
Oh, he's off somewhere. You got a costume change.
Costume change.
Well, he must be feeling the heat.
Oh yes, it's the T-shirt. That's right. That was the person in the Star Project's daughter that did those illustrations for us.
Heather's daughter, remember? And that came about, if you remember, Andy, because she sat and watched the show, and she thought the show was that good that she wanted to give us a gift. Now, it's that type of thing that made me realise that we were doing a good thing.
Oh,
and it made me realise that there was people watching, and it made a difference to them. And when this arrived, it was just brilliant, just fantastic.
It was fantastic. What show was that, Gary? Was that?
Just to confirm, that's Andy. And how good was this, Andy? The insight that they brought to it. That's Andy with space.
And
Andy's keenness on space, and that's me with a vinyl record.
So Andy's Saturn and you're an LP.
I'm an
Absolutely.
But no, it's really pointing. That's fantastic. It's great imagery.
I'm trying to remember which chat show we had, because I'm just looking through some of these. Right, so these are all the chat shows that we've had so far, and I'll put that full screen. Oh, it doesn't make any difference, but you can see some of the belters right from the very start. So our very first guest that we had on was Caroline Gormley, and we had Provost Larry Cameron. Then the second week after that, we had Tommy McGrory and Louisa Mahan. And then we had Tony Fitzpatrick was on. And then I'm trying to see who else. Oh, we had Scott Reed was on show 5.
Andy, I've got another costume change.
Have you another costume change?
Yeah, give me a minute. Costume change.
So where's the way doing his costume change? I think it's fair to say there's been a really wide range of... Oh, is that Sooty and the Nude? A really wide range of guests. You know, the majority of whom have got a good, solid Paisley connection.
Oh, fantastic, Gary.
You're such a closer.
Remember that, Andy?
Straight out of Paisley.
The week after we had Gail on from St Mirren Charitable Foundation, we launched their charity T-shirt.
Yep.
And me and you were on launching the T-shirt. So T-shirts has been a theme.
Absolutely.
And I know Tom Urie's been on a few times, Andy, and we've probably done him a disservice. I've got to say, we've done Tom a disservice. Tom's come on in his free time, singing, playing his music. We've played his videos, and we have thanked him. But there's another way that we can thank him as well, Andy, and maybe we want to put a link up for Tom if you're able to find it.
I will get that link. I was digging something else out, Gary, which was this one.
Yes,
that's us.
That was us. A couple of fashion victims. Remember that we launched that live on the show, and they went on to sell about 200 of them, Andy.
Oh, aye, they did. They sold quite a few of them.
Yeah.
So this is an opportunity to buy, because as we mentioned, Tom's not been too well, but I think from Facebook he's on the mend.
Yeah, Tom's doing okay now.
I believe he's on the mend, yeah.
He's on the mend, which is good. And however, because Tom's been great in keeping us entertained, he even played us out last week with the Christmas one that he had recorded. But you can buy Tom a cup of coffee.
Yeah. So if you feel that Tom's entertained you, or you're on his Facebook, he's definitely entertained us on here. Go on that link. Click on that link, buy Tom a coffee. Tom loves his coffee, and that's the
coffee.com/Tom Urie.
There we go.
That's brilliant. That's
Easy
brilliant.
done.
And we've had so many different aspects of the community on, Tony. I know you were, when you joined Paisley Community Trust as a trustee, you actually come on the show as a representative of your own community. And in Foxbarn, we've had so many different aspects of Paisley's community coming on this show.
100%.
It's really a community show. You know, and I think it's fantastic. You need to keep up the good work.
Who's your favourite guest, Tony? I would imagine.
Oh, I have to say Tony Lawler.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm an egotist.
Well,
I don't really have a favourite guest. I think all of the guests that I've seen, I've really enjoyed. I laughed really hard. It was a good laugh last week, but the week beforehand, and I can't remember the
panto.
The panto, but the guy, the actor, he kept doing the Aberdonian accent.
That was funny.
Aye, that was hilarious, and the conversation in that one was amazing.
It was funny. And I'm guessing there's we know who Councillor Devine is referring to.
Oh yeah. Who is Mr. Tomato Sauce anyway?
So they kept up with us.
Just don't put it on your spaghetti.
That's right.
That was good. And Piero, I mean, I remember the week Piero was on. It was comedy week. It was so funny. And Piero was his stories he was telling, and his comedy as well. And he's got the claim to fame in the show.
Aye. Piero was the first person to bring up the F word.
I'm sure he'll not be the last one.
We've done much of that.
Sorry, Gary.
Janie was funny, but I froze that night. My Wi-Fi went to pot that night.
Well, that's right. You get kicked out, Gary. And it was Roddy was bringing up the copyright saga because we had Hugh and Cry on. There's Paul Stewart's got that right. So we had Hugh and Cry on, and this shows you how naive we were. We thought it'd be no bother just to play Looking for Linda. And just play the YouTube video and not get into trouble. But we get a knock at the door with the Facebook police, and we get barred for 24 hours or something.
Andy, I actually found that show one of the more fascinating ones for me.
Right.
Because for whatever we done and however we managed to do it, Hugh and Cry came on and just chatted like a couple of pals.
They did.
They were chatting about things, and Greg in particular opened up to talk about how really difficult he'd found lockdown. And I can just imagine them on, let's say Jonathan Ross, and going, "How's your lockdown been?" and not talking the way they spoke to us. Really open, as if you're in a pub, just sitting having a beer, having a bit of a chat with your pal. And I've found that as a thread running through the whole show. Is mostly what it's been like.
Well, the thing is, I mean, we've spoken about how difficult it is for people. You know, we've never experienced anything like lockdown before, or what COVID means to not see our friends and our family or whatever. There's Caroline mentioned, you know, we've had the folk from Well Happy on, and you know, looking at out for people with mental health issues and challenges during this time. And it is, and you know, if this chat show has been able to shine a little bit of spotlight on some of these matters and some of these issues, and let everybody know that we're all connected. If you wanted to speak to us at any time, you can do that. You can reach out. You can, ask a question. You can ask for help, and it's okay not to be okay is the term that's been used, and hopefully just putting a little bit of kind of spotlight on these things and moving us all along has been helpful and useful. But been fantastic guest, Tony. What are you looking forward to most 2021?
The risk of stating the obvious, kicking the backside out of COVID and getting back to some sort of normality.
Yeah.
Meeting Gary for a coffee, maybe us all catching up for a pint in the pub, all that kind of stuff.
Sounds like a plan.
Going to the town park with my grandkids, just all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But just before I go, two things I want to say. I want to say thank you to all the key workers. I think they've been a highlight for me this year. Whether you've been in the NHS or a postal worker or an Asda driver or all the key, I've been working in the bins, whatever you've done to help keep us going, thank you very much. Keep up the good work. You've made 2020 a bit more bearable than it was going to be. Aye. And finally, it's just to remind people about the Glen Cinema commemoration tomorrow online. I'm sure you would be saying something about it later anyway, but we're going to be broadcasting the annual Glen Cinema commemoration at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning on Paisley Community Trust, Paisley Development Trust and partner Facebook pages. So please log on. We'll be there from 11. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. So that's going out tomorrow, Tony, as you mentioned, 11 a.m. So it's going to be streaming on Paisley Trust's Facebook page and YouTube page, but there's a number of partner organisations and pages on Facebook that will be also showing the broadcast as well. So hopefully there's an opportunity for everyone to join in. And just a reminder, Tony, there is no... For folks tuning in and thinking, we'll go down to the Cenotaph tomorrow, there is no live event at all at the Cenotaph tomorrow. There's nothing on at all.
No official live event at the Cenotaph. We took the decision to move it online to keep people safe.
Yep.
That's the bottom line. It's about keeping people safe.
Yeah.
It's a bit pity, Tony, that we're not having it at the Cenotaph this year, but it's as good as it can be this year while keeping people safe. So I was going to say that it's not exactly looking forward to tuning in, but it'll be the right thing to do. I'll be there, Tony.
Good stuff. I hope to see you all there.
Tony.
Paisley buddies, all the best. Happy New Year. And here's a good 2021. Andy and Gary, thank you for everything you're doing. Keep up the good work. Come on, the Paisley Community Trust.
Tony. All the best, folks. Bye-bye. Bye now. Bye-bye.
I think it's good to have your pals popping in, Andy, isn't it?
Absolutely. And, we were going to mention the Glen service tomorrow. So, it was great to hear Tony coming on to talk about that, because that is it's something that's really ingrained in Paisley's history and heritage since the tragedy in 1929. So it's really good to see that we're adapting, and Tony's adapted it for today's current circumstances. So really, really important.
And fingers crossed next year, Andy, we can get back to some sort of normality, and more of Paisley will be aware of the commemoration and turn up to the Cenotaph and pay their respects.
Yeah. And we've a few more comments in from folk about the shows that they've enjoyed through the year. So Councillor Devine, the two ice cream guys. So we had Enzo Giranti on from Pirelli's, and that was the same show. That was our Italian special, Gary, wasn't it?
Eddie's doing them a bit of disservice.
What's that?
They're doing a slight disservice, the two ice cream guys. That was their Italian week. So Italian week with Paisley's longest running chip shop.
Absolutely.
And only disturbed. The only time it was disturbed in its whole run was during COVID. And in Paisley's ice cream Emporium, Pirelli's with
Pirelli's.
Enzo, Alfredo. That was a brilliant show, actually.
I love that show. I'm struggling to say any shows that I've not enjoyed because they've all been fascinating. I mean, we've covered such a wide range of subjects. We've talked about town centre regeneration with Small Shot. We've obviously talked about our own Paisley Trust cinema plans. We had our West College Scotland and the University of Scotland, West of Scotland principals on as well, telling us about their role within the town. Janie Godley, as you mentioned, we've had our media, we've had a health special. There's just been so many, and they've all been fantastic.
And Andy, as we maybe realise, we're tip of the iceberg with what's going on in Paisley and the people that we've met.
Yep.
And they've all been brilliant. Their stories and their background and the backstory. And way back to, I think maybe second week, we had, God, what's his name now? Scott Reed. Remember with Scott Reed? Scott Reed's a world-renowned, acclaimed actor. And for those that don't know who Scott Reed is, it's better known Mick. Oh, yeah, that's that guy. But he's done so much more. And all the things he was doing in lockdown as well to align to mental health. And this thing about derelict football pitches, neglected football pitches. And he wanted to bring back the pitch up the back of Hawkhead that he wouldn't even walk his dog on. So to get interested people on, let Scott Reed to tell his story, to say what he's doing, and to have that take from him on, this is what really interests me. I want to give something back to my community. I want to bring back good football pitches.
Aye, absolutely, Gary. That was the back of Hawkhead.
Yeah, are we up the back of Hawkhead? I cycled by that not that long ago, Andy, and one of the cycle paths. Yeah.
That was the Straight Out of Paisley t-shirt week, Gary.
What? No.
Fantastic. It was great. And of course, folks, we're talking about all the guests that we've had on, and the reality is we've only had a small number of the brilliant people that are in Paisley. There's traders out there, there's clubs out there, there's organisations out there. There are people who work within lots of the different businesses within Paisley and Renfrewshire. There's Renfrewshire Council, all the activities that are going on there. So whether you like it or not, folks, Paisley Community Chat Show will be continuing into 2021. So we're going to be putting together our programmes. If you want to come on to the programme, we'd be delighted to have you. Whatever it is, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to promote, whatever you want to shine the spotlight on, please come on to a programme and do that. And if you think of anyone that you would love to see, we've got a few ideas, Gary, for some specials that we're looking to do.
Yeah, we've got we had a wee rich seam of celebrity running through the show at the middle of the year there, and we get a bit carried away with ourselves. So thinking, let's get on. All these famous folk, but we want to. Everything that we do needs to be related to Paisley, and if there is a celebrity that you think should be on this show, no matter where they are in the world, they should be coming on this show. Because of course, Andy, we had our first international show not that long ago, and we were beaming from Florida.
We were. We had
that. There's no barrier. So if you want Sean Batty on and you know him, contact Sean. If you know Gerard Butler, contact him. If you know David Tennant, get him on the show, and many, many others.
We want them all on, but not just the ones that are famous, because it's great for us to celebrate our Paisley's famous sons and daughters, but we do know that it's the ordinary people on the street doing extraordinary things that we want to be able to celebrate as well. So if you know people that you think that we should be recognising, drop us a wee line, send us something to our Facebook page, whatever it is, and let us know who you think we should be inviting onto the programme to shine a spotlight on what it is that they do. Because one thing's for sure, Paisley has so much potential, and Paisley as a community, well, let's be honest, we're a great bunch of people. we're a fantastic bunch of people. We've got common aims, common goals. We want to see good stuff happening in our town. Not for us, by the way. This is not for us. This is for the generation that's going to come after us and leaving a legacy for them. So let's continue to work together and putting on a great show. And if you've got ideas for the programme, even if you want to help out with the programme, we'd be delighted to hear from you.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed actually, Andy, the community champions that we've had on, and there's so many more of them. I think it's great that the community champions are, if we can say, giving them a moment and to highlight them to maybe a different audience. It's great for us to be able to do that, and I've learned so much up through that. I mean, I didn't know there was so many different things going on in the community. And John McIntyre from Ferguson made a great point last week about linking community groups together.
Yeah,
and him recognising that this show potentially is a conduit for that.
Yeah,
I'm really proud of that, Andy, that we've managed to be a central point for community groups to gravitate towards, to then get to know each other. I know there's been connections made.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Roddy's mentioned a chap by the name of Willie Roach in the States. He's tour manager for some big names in the jazz world. Gary, you've been experimenting with jazz, so maybe here's a wee opportunity to speak to Willie Roach.
That'd be good.
Needless to say, our Chicago contingent would like to see the one and only Paolo. Wouldn't it be great if we could get Paolo?
We need to get Paolo on.
We've got to get Paolo. Got to get Paolo. We have had a few wee questions out, a few wee testers to see if we can get to Paolo, but we'd like to. We're not going to give up on that one. So and another one, Shireen Nanjiani. She's from Elderslie, is she not, Gary? Shireen Nanjiani.
Oh, aye. Got to have a bit of Shireen on the show.
Absolutely. We'll have to get. I have to get Shireen onto the show.
It's after 9.
It is. Lynn's off to her bed. Good night, Lynn.
Night, Lynn.
Good night. Have a nice hug, Marie, when it comes.
Yeah. Oh, and before I forget,
go on.
We need to get Kelly Marie on the show.
We do need to get. I thought Councillor Devine was going to chap Kelly Marie's door. Was that not what he said?
It was. Gary's not laughing now. Stop that.
Right.
Stop. You're right. Mags, you're spot on.
Absolutely. Right. Councillor Devine is still on the case. He's trying.
Yeah. But so Andy, throughout the year, what's been your low point and what's your high point been related to the show?
Well, first of all, just taking that crazy idea that we had and actually making it happen, just doing it, and not knowing if there was going to be an audience out there, not knowing if folk would be interested in it. So just actually doing it, getting it off and running was the kind of most exciting part of it. But I think as much as we've had fantastic guests, for me, another big component of the show is the audience. Everybody that watches in week after week, and we know that we've got regulars. We've got a great bunch of regulars, and they keep us entertained, with their comments, and it's just fantastic. So the highlights is definitely been that. I don't think there's been any lowlights, Gary. I think just as we sort of say, it'd be great once we can all get back together again. We're not too far away from vaccines. We're not too far away from that starting to take effect, and hopefully the numbers going down. But it's not it's not the time to be letting anyone's guard down right now. We need to keep vigilant and keep watching what we're doing. Mask wearings, hand washing, following the advice that's been given, because getting back together again as a community is going to be fantastic, and I can't wait till we plan that. Whenever that's going to be, can't wait till we plan that.
Yeah. It's been a strange year, Randy, and hopefully next year, fingers crossed. I mean, even in the past week has been quite bizarre politically, and I know it's not a political show, but as far as the virus and the vaccine's concerned and all this Brexit stuff going on, it's just very, very surreal, really surreal that that's going on in my lifetime.
Yep.
And I'm living through this.
Yep.
But the show, I mean, as you said, Andy, for that first chat we had about, and you went, "When we'll do a chat show." No, I don't want to do a chat show. What are you on about? It'll be a bit of fun. Maybe it'll not work. Maybe it will work. All right, let's give it a go.
Yeah.
To be here every Wednesday night and looking forward to it and building up to it and getting calls from people to say, "Can I come on your show?" No, seriously, you're even using the word "the show."
The show.
That we've got a show.
Yep.
But as I've said, Andy, I'm thrilled and in awe of our guests that come on here every week. Every single guest, to a man and a woman, has been astonishing. The stories that they tell and their inspiring way that they are to do things in their community for the better of other people.
Yep.
I'm in awe of them. From even just recently, and we'll get her on, and we'll get her on again at the start of the year.
Yep.
But the Christmas Toy Bank, for example, the work that the Christmas Toy Bank does has went another level. They've just announced that the Christmas Toy Bank will be called the Toy Bank. So Renfrewshire Christmas Toy Bank is now Renfrewshire Toy Bank, and it's going to be all year. They'll have appeals for birthdays, for Easter, for Halloween, and a big push for Christmas, of course. So the work that these people do is astounding, really astounding. And to rise to the challenge, all these community groups, Andy, that we've seen and that we know are out there.
Yeah.
The Star Project have been so supportive of our show. Sitman Community Foundation, so supportive of our show. Just absolutely fantastic what these people do to actually say to us, "Thanks." But wait a minute.
Yeah.
You don't need to thank us. All we're doing is coming in on a Wednesday night and having a chat on our chat show. It's you guys.
Absolutely.
You guys that's kept this whole community together. And as Tony said, from NHS to Star Project and everyone in between, our thanks go to you for doing such a magnificent job holding this community together. We could spend the whole. I've just put up a link there, folks, to all of the shows. They're all on YouTube, so if you've missed any show, you can watch it on YouTube. And there's some brilliant shows. I just glancing back over them. The Remembrance Day special, hearing about Erskine and hearing about the Argyll and Sutherland soldiers was just fantastic. Then, folk like Rex we've had on, a real community hero, and it's those ordinary people doing extraordinary things. We just can't get away from it. And we know that we've been busy during lockdown as well, or during this kind of COVID pandemic. But there's been so many other folk that have been doing great things as well. Caroline, who was our very first guest, she was saying how nervous that she was coming on to her first show, but she's been busy painting. She did the bog roll, the COVID bog roll, and what a fantastic thing that turned out to be. That was just amazing. How inspirational. Andy, Caroline come on that show. It didn't look as if she was nervous. I was nervous. And it was just great and inspiring to talk to Caroline and the work that she does, the work she's doing in the community with the kids and made in Paisley. And of course, that evening, Lorraine Cameron, our provost, was on. And we can't shake her off, Andy.
You wouldn't want to shake the provost off. She's fantastic.
I know. Lorraine's been really supportive of the show. And any time we've asked her to come on and play a particular role or just come on and have a chat, she said yes at every turn.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lorraine. Thanks, Lorraine, for coming on the show every time you've came on.
Well, the thing is about the Provost is, because we had her on the very first show, and at that point, way back in May when we were kicking this off, we had only been about 4 weeks, 5 weeks into lockdown. We really didn't know what we had ahead of us. But she put out a very simple message: when this is all over, and we didn't know when, think about your communities, think about shopping local. And that's really important for Paisley, that as we all come through this, that we have a new significance in the vitality that we need to have in our town and our support. It's been dead easy this Christmas to just click and buy and have a delivery driver deliver it from Amazon or whatever. But we've got a real opportunity in our town centre over the next 5 years to be part of that reshaping of the town. And, if we can shop local, if we can spend more time, if we can go out and support the local cafes, restaurants, shops, retailers. I saw on Facebook Bianco Nero had its door kicked in and broken into. And that's just not on. That's not on. We can't let ourselves down like this. We can't have folk going, oh, look at Paisley again. Let's just cut all that nonsense out. Let's take pride in our town. And actually somebody went on and said, can you start a crowdfunder so that we can pay to get this door fixed? That just shows you the fantastic spirit of good folk that we have in this town. So let's continue in that effort. And as the Provost said, focus on community, focus on shopping local. And that's going to help us regrow, because we all want better. We all want better. So let us try and regrow from this down point and turn Paisley into a town in 5-10 years' time that we can all look back and be proud of, and it's a legacy left to the next generations.
Yeah, Andy, that takes us very nicely to maybe reflect on the work that we do and our purpose.
Yeah.
Our purpose about bringing community together and putting community at the heart of regeneration of the town. So it is about having that pride in your town, having a real pride in your town, but bringing regen back into focus. We've been working in the background, and we know that halfway through the year, M&S announced that they were closing, which is that week was a real blow. And we got a lot of people contacting us, Andy, to say, look, what are you going to do about it? What can be done about it? And of course, we've been in touch with M&S and we've been in touch with the new owners of the Paisley Centre. And we can't afford for Paisley's High Street and that particular unit to turn into what BHS has turned into in Glasgow and other places.
Yeah.
So we'll be working hard as Paisley Community Trust on regeneration programmes. And at the start of the year, I noticed last week, Andy, and Annette, one of our trustees, with our Christmas message, came on saying there's going to be some initiatives at the start of the year from us to actually ask of the community, what do you want for your town? So we'll be kicking that off in the new year. So watch this space on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to look forward to, folks, in 2021. Let's hope that we can, kick COVID into touch, as everyone's talking about. From a Paisley point of view, we know that the Paisley Centre is under new ownership. Myself and Gary have met with, albeit virtually on Zoom, but we've met with the new owners, and we're very, very encouraged on what their plans are, short, medium, and long term. We've had the Paisley here it is down here. That's the blueprint. That's what we're aiming for. So the plan that has been generated by 360 Architects, Renfrewshire Council, Scotland's Town Partnership, and the Scottish Government, this is what they believe Paisley has the potential for. That's what we should be working for, and that's what we should be kicking off in 2021, with a real degree of momentum and enthusiasm. So Paisley Centre acquired the opportunity for that to be developed in the long term is great. So lots of things to look forward to, Gary, in 2021. Yeah. And of course, Paisley Community Trust will always be a voice for the community, but next year we're going to be launching something called The Big Question. And it's going to be a single question at a time. Whether we go out weekly or fortnightly, we're refining. But it'll be a simple question that we want to hear from you, the community. Would you like this? Would you prefer that? What do you think of this? What do you think of that? You know, whatever it might be, hot topics in Paisley. So we're going to be taking questions from everyone that they would like to have asked. We're going to be putting them out there, and we're going to be seeing what the feedback is. So lots of plans underway, Gary.
Yeah, lots to look forward to. Fingers crossed, Andy. We get back to what the normal might be. I mean, I actually hope that we're able to reflect and say, like, what we had before, we can tweak it and make society slightly better. That'll be down to groups like us and the people that are tuning in to ask and answer those questions. So I'm looking forward to that aspect of it, Andy. But one thing I want to reflect back again.
Go on.
One of my favourite weeks was pub week. Remember, we had pub week.
Wait, karaoke?
With karaoke, we had a quiz.
Oh, fantastic.
Can't wait. We'll need to do that again. If we're doing this, Andy, and we're still in lockdown, another pub week, another quiz, another karaoke, let's do it.
Absolutely. There's a lot of good shows coming up in 2021. You've got Valentine's Day coming up. That's in February. You've got Easter coming up. You've probably got Mother's Day in there as well. So there's lots of interesting things that we'll need to be doing, Gary. But a pub quiz and karaoke, yeah. Let Mag, it's been so long, Mags has forgotten what a pub is already.
Yeah. And don't forget, when this is all over, guys, let's support our local economy. I've seen Paisley busier in lockdown than I've seen it in a long time.
Yeah.
And I think if we remember that we've got a core to our town and our core is really important, let's go back and support our businesses, and thriving and flourishing out of that and spinning out of that will be new businesses, and our town will be even better than it actually is.
Yeah.
So let's support each other. So we've not got much longer, Andy. We've overran we thought this would be a quick reflection on the year, but it's went longer than as usual. We
had a couple of great guests coming on as well, so that was always good, and you know, so many highlights and so many great comments. But I guess ultimately, you know, we the next time we speak, the next time we broadcast, that will be the 6th of January. We'll be into 2021, Gary. So I guess ultimately at the end of the year, you know, it's that point where we start to think about, you know, wishing everyone the very best for the year ahead. You know, making New Year's resolutions was one of the questions that we had earlier on. I'm sure it's New Year's resolutions is to support local, and I think again back to the Provost, you know, show our appreciation, you know, to be able to do that in a bit more, you know, of a regular occurrence, I think is an important thing.
Yeah, I don't really have New Year's resolutions, Andy. I tend to have a to-do list, and gets me off and running. I don't have a let's get fitter, let's lose weight type of thing.
Yeah.
What I really want to look forward to next year, though, I can't wait to play five-a-sides again. Honestly, I've not played five-a-sides since I think the 13th of March, and I can't wait to get back and kick a ball, because that deals with stress. It's in amongst my pals. It's a sport I've enjoyed since I was a kid. And all of that stuff. I need to play five-a-sides again, as well as my to-do list, which is getting bigger. It's a big year next year, Andy. 2021. I don't like to wish people a Happy New Year before Happy New Year, so I'm going to hold on that, if you don't mind. And I'm looking forward to the next show when I can wish everyone a Happy New Year.
Well, I think it's, you know, Hogmanay traditions. You know, for me, growing up in Marnock Terrace, always had to be home for the bells. Couldn't be out anywhere else. You needed to be in your own house for the bells. And
No danger this year, Andy.
What's that?
No danger this year.
Oh, no danger this year, absolutely. And then, you know, you'd be watching Scotch and Rye or something like that coming up for the bells, and then it'd be, you know, the countdown. And we did a couple of things when the bells, after the bells, we'd open all of our blinds up and we'd wave to folk across the road, folk that we wouldn't recognise if we walked past them in the street. We'd also open all the windows up in the house to let the old air out and the new air in. But what we used to do, my dad used to do this, we'd go out the back door, you'd open up the back door, and if it was a still enough night, you could hear the ships that were down on the Clyde, you could hear them honking their horns. They would blow all their horns. Now, where we are, we're up in a hill, so we can actually look out the back and see fireworks. We can see into the south side of Glasgow, and all these folk will be letting off fireworks. I love Hogmanay. I know it can be quite an emotional time, but I'm more for the optimistic looking forward rather than the being too sentimental and looking back the way, Gary.
Yeah, I remember particularly, Andy, Hogmanay at the millennium year, and my mum and dad stayed up the other end of Marnock Terrace, so we went up to my mum and dad's, and we went up in the loft and opened the skylight, and the whole of the world was lit up that night. It was really quite a special night.
Oh, absolutely. We had a big party in our house. We used to stay in Brodie Park in a flat, and we had lots of friends and family round. And when it was a countdown to 2000, we were bouncing so hard. I was convinced we were going to end up in the living room of the place below us. But that was a special night. That was really, really good. But Gary, I think we're pretty much done for this evening.
I've really enjoyed tonight's show, Andy. It's been a real good reminisce. A couple of good surprise guests coming in tonight. Thanks to Tony and Wallace for coming in and saying hello to us and having a weather.
Always good to see them, and thank you to everyone that's been, keeping us busy on social media. As always, love to see your comments coming in. Memories of your great guests that we've had on the program. Some of the suggestions, and there's been a few great suggestions coming in there from all of you in terms of who you would like to see next year. So we'll do our very, very best. But as always, we've enjoyed the chat, we've enjoyed the look back, but more importantly, we enjoy the look forward to 2021. So I know, Gary, you'll hold off wishing everybody a new year till the 6th, but I'm going to get out the gates a little bit early. And from my point of view, folks, it's been a tough challenge this year. 2020, will be certainly not a year that we'll forget in a hurry. But it's not going to be the party perhaps that you might have, but hopefully next year is going to be full of optimism. So I wish you all a very peaceful time at the Bells, a very positive time at the Bells, and I look forward. And if you're lucky enough to have your loved ones round about you, give them a big hug, give them a big kiss, let them know how much you love them and appreciate them, and look forward to Paisley, to your family, to the communities out there for 2021, and how can we help each other move forward and get out of this. So I wish you all the very best as we head up to the Bells and into 2021.
Well said, Andy, and I want to just thank everyone for their support throughout the whole year, for tuning into the chat show, for giving us your comments, and for being our pals. It's just been fantastic to be part of your lives. Thanks for supporting us through 2020. It's been at times difficult. It's been traumatic. It's been emotional. It's been happy. It's been sad. But we've survived, and I'm looking forward to just getting over that next hurdle, getting into January, landing in January, and getting off and running again. So thanks everyone so much. Really appreciate your support. Tune in next Wednesday when it will be January, and we can look forward to whatever 2021 brings.
Yeah, absolutely, folks. We'll see you next year.
Thanks all.
See you later. Bye now. Bye.